Israr as the Congress co-chair to make the opening speech. There is no problem.
Okay. Good morning to all of you.
15 to 20 minutes. Our first speaker is an ELT expert with 29 years of IELTS and TOEFL teaching and training experience. He is a linguist by profession, teacher, trainer, researcher, and international keynote and plenary speaker. He has published 80 research papers in numerous international peer-reviewed research journals, authored 4 books, and has supervised extensively. He has conducted and attended scores of ELT workshops and seminars within the country. He has been awarded honorary doctorate in ELT and applied linguistics by an American university due to his remarkable services in the field of ELT. He is a recipient of multiple national and international awards and gold medals in recognition of his outstanding academic achievements. Currently, he is teaching in the Islamia University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. We welcome Professor Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bhatti.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Professor. There is no problem.
And what about my screen? Is it visible for you?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bhatti from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. And I am really thankful to the ORP organization for inviting me as a keynote speaker in their multiple conferences. That is a great opportunity for me. And the topic of my today talk is learning vocabulary through short stories at elementary level. And that is a brief sketch of my talk. Respected audience, second language learning starts with learning and using its words. When learners know how to use the basic or common words of the target language, they can communicate better and thus master the receptive and productive skills of the language. In the light of this interpretation, English instructors started using literacy works to expand the learner's vocabulary and achieve the learning outcomes. In this regard, the use of short stories for vocabulary acquisition and instruction is an effective strategy that helps both the learners and the teachers to achieve their goals and purposes. Basically, language is a priceless gift of God to human beings. Without it, human beings would have remained only a dumb animal. It exists everywhere in our dreams and thoughts, relations and communications, prayers and meditations, and customs and rituals. Language is the best means to know the past, understand the present, and peep into the future. Language ties society through verbal and non-verbal forms, according to Sepher. Language is chiefly human and non-instinctive way of exchanging ideas, desires, and emotions by way of systems of voluntarily produced symbols. Dear audience, English language is comprised of elements like sound system phonology, the structural or the grammatical elements, and lexical element or vocabulary. So vocabulary is the soul and essence of a language. It is a stock of words used in a language. Words are instruments and tools of thoughts. It is a backbone of any language, a series of words in foreign language to express meanings. If we talk about the short stories, and there is an Indian proverb, tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. A short story is a part of brief literature, generally composed in narrative prose. Plot of short stories is shorter than that of novel. The purpose of short stories is to enjoy and also make learners helpful to think about social and moral. With the help of short stories, students learn more about life experience, sensation, and strong fondness. Learners feel happiness to tell a story again and again. Vocabulary is central to English language teaching because without sufficient vocabulary, students cannot understand others. We cannot convey a single idea without vocabulary. The importance of vocabulary can be shown with the help of a British linguist, David A. Wilkins. A quote, "Without grammar, very little can be conveyed, but without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Vocabulary development is an important aspect of language development." So now I would like to move towards the impact of vocabulary. Dear all, Lexical expansion is the core in being accurate and fluent in the four skills of language. Without knowing, understanding, and learning the accurate use of the words, effective communication will not take place. The introduction of short stories in the ELT classrooms has gained the attention of language and literary scholars. Short stories are vital tools for vocabulary instruction because they are a good source of inspiration and aspiration. Words can heal people if used positively and wound them if used negatively. Due to this fact, teaching vocabulary through short stories has different goals and purposes. On the one hand, the instructor will evoke and provoke the learner through some specific words used in the tale and instill a feeling of pleasure and beauty. The joys of such an experience motivate the students to read more and engage them in contextualizing the meanings of the text. Respected audience, there are some advantages of using short stories. Short stories are authentic materials. Linguistic rules should be applied to authentic materials. Short stories are engaging and evocative. They are stimulating and provocative. They portray different human conditions. They externalize the internal feelings and thoughts of characters. There are different levels of short stories. With short stories, teaching can be flexible. Morphology, implicity can be taught to show students see how words or new words are formed in languages. Short stories are about an event that happens to the character. Creating a graphic organizer can help students expand their vocabulary more. If we talk about the significance of this study, it will be helpful for the students, for the teachers, and definitely will improve the vocabulary skills. And the objectives of my study were to highlight the utility of short stories at elementary level, to identify the students' problems in learning vocabulary, to persuade the teachers to use short stories for teaching vocabulary skills, to investigate the techniques used by the teachers for vocabulary development at elementary level. And my research hypothesis was short story is a valuable media for teaching vocabulary skills to the students of elementary level. So effective teaching through short stories can bring improvement, enhance, and boost up the ratio of productivity in students' learning of vocabulary skills. Now I would like to move towards the literature review. Dear all, if language structures make up the skeleton of a language, then it is vocabulary that provides the vital organs and the flesh. Lexis is the core of or heart of the language. The acquisition of sufficient vocabulary is crucial for a successful second language use. Short story is a great way to improve learners' vocabulary, the ability to recognize individual words and to associate the other words. 200 students and 50 teachers from Government ST High School, Bahawalpur, Pakistan participated in this study. If we talk about the research methodology, it was experimental in nature and the approach was quantitative and stratified random sampling was done. A questionnaire for the teachers and pre-test and post-test for the students were used as a tool to collect the data from the respondents. And that is the data analysis of my pre-test and post-test. And on the behalf of that, it is clear that short stories technique develops students' vocabulary skills at elementary level. And these are some factors which I deduced from the questionnaire delivered to the teachers. And these are some factors. Importance of vocabulary, 80% teachers agreed. Effectiveness of short stories, 70% agreed. Confidence enhanced, 80% agreed. Use of short stories media, 90% agreed. Vocabulary skills improved, 90% teachers were agreed. And that is a graphic description of my talk. Dear all, now I just want to encapsulate my talk. Short stories can help language learners to improve their language skills. In terms of vocabulary expansion, stories are authentic materials. Language instructors should expose their students to these materials that stimulate learners to delve into both the form and content of the language utilized. By integrating short stories in the language courses, especially language skills, the environment of the class will be less abstract. When words are learned in their context, they can be absorbed better. By using short stories, instructors will teach vocabulary more proficiently, and the four skills of language will be integrated at the same time. Now, before leaving, I would like to give my suggestions and recommendations. A true English language teaching must be carried out through short stories to help the learners. Government should formulate proper education policy for introducing proper language teaching in the country. Teachers should present their lessons in an enjoyable, relaxed, and interesting way. It is necessary to introduce short stories media to make language learning meaningful and effective. Students should be encouraged and motivated to learn new vocabulary attentively and share it with their fellows. And teachers should incorporate short stories into activities, divide students into groups, instruct each group to use the new words to perform different activities. And that was the questionnaire which I distributed among the teachers. And these were some references from which I got the help. And thanks for your patience. And any question, please. And that's all from my side, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor, for the presentation. Is there any questions?
So nice of you, sir.
Okay, I think there is no questions for now. Thank you again. Thanks so much for your presentation, Professor.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now we will continue to our next guest speaker, who is Masoud Taghavi, postdoctoral research fellow